Imagine you're sitting in a room with 5 people. You've got a friend, your boss, and 3 total strangers. Everyone's laughing, the vibe is super light, and everything seems perfectly normal. But how do you know who might secretly be plotting against you? How do you spot the person whose smile is totally fake, or the one who is actually trembling inside despite acting like they own the place? It feels like you'd need a superpower, right? Well, you don't. You really just need to know what to look for. To figure all this out, we're going to run through 4 rare secrets of human observation, plus a final behavioral test. We'll quickly cover the illusion of masks, the art of omission, catching missing hours, millisecond microexpressions, the shock test, and finally, how to spot a wolf in sheep's clothing. This is going to arm you with the psychological tools you need to unmask the people around you. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the illusion of masks. And rule number 1 of dark observation, people almost never tell the truth with their words. The reality here is that most of the world is completely blind. They just passively accept whatever mask someone decides to put on. But a true observer knows way better. People are incredibly skilled at curating exactly what they want you to see. But a person's body, their nervous system, their immediate, unfiltered reactions, those literally scream the truth. We're going to train ourselves to stop blindly trusting words and start paying attention to the unspoken, psychological reality of the nervous system. That leads us nicely into Section 2, the art of omission. This is all about investigating what is intentionally missing from a conversation. We call this technique omission profiling. Most of us assume that to catch a liar, you have to hyperanalyze the words coming out of their mouth. But honestly, that's a massive cognitive trap. The human brain naturally crafts really intricate, believable stories when it's lying, but it subconsciously skips right over the specific details where it's terrified of getting caught. It's the empty space in their story that you really need to be listening for. For example, let's say you ask a friend, "Hey, where were you in Rohan last night? Your phone was totally off." And their excuse focuses 100% on the weather and their vehicle. They say, "Oh man, I was out, my car broke down, it was pouring rain, my phone died, it was a nightmare." Do you notice what's missing there? They completely omitted Rohan's name. They shifted the entire narrative to themselves and the broken car. That skipped word, that one totally ignored piece of your question, is their absolute biggest secret. So how do you test this in the wild? You use a really simple, incredibly effective 2-question interrogation trick. First, ask a safe question, something you have absolutely 0 doubts about. Watch how they respond to it. Do they answer immediately? No hesitation? Perfect. Psychologically, answering that safe question establishes their cognitive baseline. Once you have that, immediately hit them with your doubt question. If they suddenly start spinning this elaborate tale, that sudden spike in cognitive load is what causes their story to fracture, and you instantly know something is up. Let's move on to Section 3, catching the missing hours, or what's known as the time jump trap. Think of this as a chronological magnifying glass to spot a total fabrication. You want to listen for a liar's panic right inside their timeline. Let's say someone is trying to explain their whereabouts during a really serious situation. They start listing off their timeline meticulously, like hour by hour. At 5 p.m., I went out. From 6 to 8, I was running errands. But then, out of nowhere, they skip a massive chunk of time and say, "And then at midnight, I just ran straight home." Wait a second, they just glossed over 3 entire hours. That massive, glaring gap in their alibi is exactly where the deception lives. When you catch a time jump like that, you don't just let it slide. You look them dead in the eye, make strong contact, and ask in a very calm, deep voice, "Where did 9, 10, and 11 go?" You don't even have to directly accuse them of anything. Just pointing out that chronological gap forces their brain into a total scramble. Watch their face. Their immediate expression in that split second will instantly betray their fear. We've looked at verbal clues and omissions, so now let's shift to Section 4, millisecond microexpressions. Let's see exactly what happens when the body betrays the mind. This brings us to a concept known as the millisecond mask slip. Look, everyone wears a mask claiming they're happy or confident or super respectful. But the human brain is not a flawless machine. The immense cognitive load required to suppress a genuine emotion means it simply cannot maintain a lie every single second of the day. All that effort results in a tiny fraction of a second window where the real emotion just leaks right out before the mask snaps back into place. Most people blink and completely miss it. But as focused observers, we're not going to. The key is knowing exactly where to look. Say you tell a coworker about a huge promotion you just landed. They flash this big, broad smile and say, "Wow, congratulations." But for just the fraction of a second,
You see their jawline tighten, or maybe it twitches, or their eyes narrow just a tiny bit. That millisecond, that is hidden jealousy or suppressed anger leaking right through their congratulatory mask. The body literally cannot lie as fast as the mouth can, no matter how much they pretend to be thrilled for you.
Now, if waiting around for a subtle micro-expression isn't quite fast enough for you, let's jump to Section 5, the shock test. This is all about forcefully bringing the truth to the surface.
You execute the shock test by dropping a highly personal, ambiguous, or surprising statement straight into the middle of a totally normal conversation. Just imagine casually chatting with someone, and out of absolutely nowhere, you look at them and say, "I know what you did that night." The trick here isn't necessarily what you say, but exactly when you say it, and how closely you observe the immediate aftermath.
When you drop a shock statement like that, their very first millisecond reaction is the undeniable truth. It might be stark fear, a flash of sudden anger, or genuine surprise. But whatever they say or do immediately after that, the awkward nervous laughter, the super defensive "what are you talking about? I was home," that is just them frantically pulling their fake mask back on. You have to train yourself to only trust that very first flash of emotion. All right, finally, let's look at Section 6, wolf in sheep's clothing. Consider this your behavioral final exam. It's the perfect test to run on that universally loved person in your social circle who you kind of suspect is just playing a role for sympathy.
Here is exactly how you separate a genuinely good person from someone wearing a very convincing mask. Step 1, just passively observe how they treat their own stuff. Do they keep their phone, their clothes, their personal space neat? If they do, great, move to Step 2. Lend them a personal item of yours, like your phone or a book, for just 2 days. Tell them you need it back on the 3rd day. Step 3, evaluate. Psychologically speaking, how a person treats things when there are no immediate consequences reveals their hidden baseline of empathy and respect. If they return it in perfect condition, they likely genuinely respect you. But if they carelessly toss it around or damage it, their whole nice person persona is completely fabricated. Because here is the ultimate truth. No matter how phenomenally they act in front of a crowd, a person's private actions always reveal their core character. The psychological dichotomy between their public persona and their private reality is absolutely everything. Someone who carelessly handles your belongings, or someone you catch whispering badly about their so-called friends in the corner of a room, is undeniably a wolf in sheep's clothing. The mask might be perfectly crafted for the public stage, but behind closed doors, the wolf is always going to show its teeth. The psychology behind hidden masks is wildly complex, but honestly, the signs are always there if you know where to look. Now that you are armed with the dark observation tools of omission profiling, timeline analysis, millisecond microexpressions, and behavioral testing, it is time to put these skills to the test. Look around your own circles, your workplace, your acquaintances right now. Whose mask will you drop first?